So it's focusing on the moment, where you are in time, where your body is in time, without any judgment or interpretation. The University of Rochester Medical Science says that if you practice mindfulness, it helps with cognitive, physical, and emotional stability. And so we just want to share with you that if you can also incorporate mindfulness and asking your participants to participate in mindfulness, it will also enhance the bone, healthy bone exercises.
Great. So first we're going to talk about postural alignment, some tips that you can use to improve your posture. So for those of you who would like to join in this demonstration, you may go ahead and rise from your seats. Type of imagery, which is imagine a plumb line running. Imagining a plumb line running along the side of your body. So this plumb line is a vertical line that runs from the ground up towards the ceiling. And imagine it running towards the ankle, through the hip, through the shoulder, and through the ear. So if you imagine this little wand here that extends all the way up to the ceiling, and Anita is going to imagine her ankle, hip, shoulder, and ear lining up to the plumb line. Right?
So see where I was before? Because I actually used the imaginary plumb line up into the section.
Good. Now, when I treat patients that come in for neck, back, shoulder injuries, and I usually do a postural assessment. And when I tell my patient, okay, I'm going to check your posture, the first thing they want to do to impress me is do this, right? Now, that's not really the right way to work on improving your posture. You actually want to lengthen yourself and use the, think of lengthening, making yourself taller. So let's say most of you know how tall you are. I'm 5 foot tall. I would love to be taller. So one activity that you can do is imagine that you are 2 inches taller. So I'm going to imagine that I'm 5'2". I want to lengthen up towards the ceiling, not necessarily pull back, but I want to be longer and taller. So that's a good exercise to practice. Now, another activity that's really good to do to improve your postural alignment, many times because of pain or weakness, we tend to kind of collapse in our knees. We tend to turn our feet in towards the inside, the middle part of your foot. So one way that you can improve the weight distribution on your feet is use the foot triangle of support analogy. So imagine under your feet, under each foot, there is a triangle that extends from the heel all the way along the outer portion of your foot and then across the toes, across the metatarsals, okay? So that automatically kind of shifts your weight a little bit more towards the outside instead of like this collapsed posture, all right? And you want to make sure you have even pressure on the 2 feet as you're doing this exercise. You automatically feel your knees lengthening and your posture lengthening a little bit. Good. Now, another analogy that you can use is imagining a golden thread coming down from the ceiling, coming to the top of your head. Okay? And imagine that this thread is pulling you, lengthening your neck, elongating the back of your neck, pulling the crown towards the ceiling. So you're feeling elongation going on over there. All right? Now, using this imagery seems to be helpful, right? Now, a really nice way to work on your posture. How many of you here love wearing fancy jewelry? Beautiful gems. So imagine your favorite gem. Okay. Now, somehow you acquired this really big, huge gem, and you want to show it off. So if you're wearing it on a necklace, you're not going to want to hide it like this. You're going to want to show it off. So you want to lift your chest bone and show off your beautiful necklace.
I don't wear
There you go. Now, a really nice way to work on improving this posture from the shoulders. Imagine your collarbones are wings. Okay? So I want want you to think of spreading your wings. Now this should be done very gently. You're trying to create an elongation in the front of the chest. Okay? And you don't want to squeeze back like this or squeeze back, pull back with your arms. You actually want to spread the wings apart horizontally.
So you just kind of lift them up. It's like usually I'm pretty rounded from working on a typewriter. So I just want to lift them up. See how I straighten out. It's not this, just squeezing your shoulder blades together, right? It's just lifting up gently, moving them back. Another way to do it too is if you breathe in, as you exhale, just bring your shoulders back. Down. Exhale. Just round your shoulders out. Spread your legs.
And then hinge at the hip. You may use the arms of the chair. So hinge a little bit, keeping your back straight. And you're going to come down to reach the handlebars. And then you're going to go down on one leg. Great. And then the other. All right. Now I'm going to move the chair away. All right. So I'll let you get a little bit closer. So we'll use it to come to the table. Pretend that she's still on the floor. All right. So you're going to, from that position, you go on your knees. Yeah. But onto the table so you can go on. Yeah. There we go. All right. So she got down onto her knees, and you're going to hinge at the hip with one hand down and then the other, keeping your back straight. Okay. Now you're going to lie on your one arm, your right arm, and go down on your elbow. That's it. Keeping your back straight. And you're going to lie on your side. There. It's a narrow table, sorry. Okay. And then you can lie flat. Okay. And then roll over onto your back. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to make sure this table is. This is the position, what we call the unloaded position. And the reason it's called unloaded, this is the position where there's the least amount of compressive forces on the spine. So if you think about sitting or standing, there's a lot of gravitational forces, compressive forces onto the spine. And that can cause a lot of flexion, especially in the vertebral bodies of the thoracic spine. So in this position, you're actually minimizing the compressive forces. And you're creating a sense of elongation, and you can get some actual good muscle relaxation that occurs. Now, for those of you that have any cervical or shoulder issues, you want to make sure that you have adequate pillow support. So, go ahead and I'm going to take away this pillow. Yeah. All right, so. Oh, yes. So, Anita, she looks pretty good here. But sometimes if there's a lot of thoracic kyphosis, she might not be able to lie flat. She might go into she might lie like this. So that's not ideal for her. So what you can do is then put pillow under the head to have her spine be in more neutral position. Okay? Does that feel comfortable? All right. Now I'm going to demonstrate another option. So sometimes some people, they actually lie with their head and chin totally tilted, and there's no curvature in the spine. If that's the case, then what you can do is place a little rolled up towel underneath the neck. All right, and that will create a little bit of a natural arch that we need to have in the spine. Okay, so I'm going to place this pillow back underneath. Great, thank you. Now, another thing that you can do, tricky. All right, so you notice how Anita's shoulder is sitting a lot higher than her elbow, right? So what you want to do is level out the position of the arm. So you can take a rolled up towel, or you can put a pillow and have the arm resting on that to make it more level. All right? Now, Anita, you're going to lie with your palms facing up. So you want the arms to be about 30 to 45 degrees away from the side of the body, the palms up. And the reason for that is it actually causes a great stretch on the front of the chest. Okay? Now, in this position, you can actually lay there for 3 to 5 minutes and do some breathing exercises. And you'll notice relaxation, stretching at the front of the shoulders, and the shoulders kind of falling back. Now, for those of you that might be uncomfortable in this position because of back issues, you may also use a chair and prop your legs up at a 90-degree angle. And that's also more comfortable for the spine, especially in the presence of severe lumbar stenosis.
So, I just want to talk about
Yes.
see, so it comes straight.
So when she has her legs straight, you notice how her back is going to arch a little bit too much. And it's going to cause too much of an anterior tilt of the pelvis and can create a lot of discomfort, especially if there's also some tightness in the hips and knees. It's actually going to put a lot more stress on the spine.
It's uncomfortable.
And having the position being like this, the spine can be more relaxed. No, I'm going to talk about that. All right. So you want to be in a neutral position. You want to have your arms pumped face up. All right. So we're going to go into now some specific exercises. So getting into this position is very important before you do anything. So the first exercise.
My palms are down, it causes your shoulders to rotate in. So you're really not expanding your chest muscles. If I put my palms up, my shoulders automatically expand and my wings expand.
So you're going to notice that you're going to get a good stretch when the palms turned up like this. Okay? So the next exercise now is going to be focusing on the erector spinae muscles. We're going to start with the head. We're going to start with the exercise called the head press. Okay? So Anita, what I'd like for you to do is very gently press the head down into the support and then relax. Now, several things to pay attention to. She did it well, but she did lift her chin up a little bit. So Anita, I want to make sure that you bring your chin just a little bit. And now feel the head, the weight of the head on the pillow, and very gently press down. And relax. So you're going to hold the stretch for the exercise for 3 seconds. While you do the exercise, you don't want to hold your breath. You want to exhale. Now, how hard do you press down? So one thing that they emphasize a lot at the Bone Fit training course is a really good way to know how much to push. So imagine that you have a little bunny, a soft baby bunny under your head. You want to cuddle the bunny, but not squish it. You don't want to kill it, okay? So that's a very good way of kind of controlling how much pressure you put down. You don't need to use too much resistance, because what happens is then you're going to recruit all these other muscles, and you're not going to get the effect that you're looking for on these specific target muscles.
You can actually feel it when you just press gently into the back of the pillow. You can feel the muscles running down the length of your spine tighten just by gently pressing your head into the pillow.
Now, when you do this exercise, start off with only about 3 repetitions, and then you can gradually progress it up to 5 and then maybe 8 repetitions. So you don't need to do so many to have such a powerful impact on those muscles. Okay? Now, the next exercise we're going to do is called the elbow press. So you're going to place your hands behind your head, one hand under the other. Okay. Now, in this position, again, you want to have a little support under the elbow. So if an individual is tight and they can't get their elbows down to the floor, then make sure you put a pillow or rolled up towel, because the elbows should be rested. Okay. Now the exercise, what you're going to do is very gently press your elbow down into the towel, hold it for 3 seconds, and relax. Now as you do the exercise, you want to breathe out. And again, remember the baby bunny. You want to cuddle it, not squish it. And relax. Now, there may be instances where you cannot get your hands into this position. There are a lot of ways to modify this exercise. You can move your hands apart towards the ears, or you can put them on your head, forehead, put them on your cheeks, or on your chin. Okay? And depending on how much shoulder flexibility you have. Great? All right. Now, next exercise. What you want to do now, we call this exercise a shoulder press. And in this position, you want to make sure your palms are up, your arms at a 30 to 45 degree angle away from the body. You want to make sure your shoulders are not all the way up to your ears. You want to lengthen along the length of your arms. Okay? Now, you're going to imagine the collarbones are wings. You're going to spread the wings out very gently and then push the shoulders down into the surface and relax. Again, this is not a shoulder blade retraction exercise. You don't want to see the chest expanding too much. And especially with this exercise, you don't want the back to arch. Okay? Now, speaking about arching in the back, a lot of times in this position, a lot of people want to do a pelvic tilt because that's what they've learned to do previously in previous exercise classes. You want to be in a neutral spine. You don't want your pelvis rounded. You don't want it arched. You want to be in a comfortable position. Okay? Again, you would do this exercise for 3 seconds and you would start off with about 3 repetitions. Now, last exercise I'm going to demonstrate. So bring your arm in by your side. Okay. What you're going to do is raise your right arm up towards me. Go as far as you feel comfortable. And then in this position, what I want you to do is elongate your arms, so pull it away. Imagine your rib cage moving away from your pelvis. And then relax. Another way you can imagine doing this is pretend I have some treats here, a chocolate bar, your favorite chocolate bar. I'm holding it up 2 inches away from you. You're going to...
It could be the kind bar that's over there on the table when we get to it, okay?
And you're going to reach for that kind bar and then relax. Now, this exercise is a great exercise, but you want to do it, take caution when you do it. If you have any shoulder issues, be very careful. Maybe prop up some pillows to support so the arm just doesn't fall. You want to make sure you don't compensate by hiking your hip or your trunk to reach for that kind bar. All right. And again, you would do you can do 3 repetitions, work it up to 5 or 8 repetitions. Now these exercises can be done on one side, like the shoulder press that we did, the arm lift can be done on one side at a time, and then you can do both sides at the same time. It's a great exercise. It's a great exercise to do in the morning as a morning stretch also. Okay, very good. And you want to make sure as you're doing it that you're not arching your back. If you find it's hard to keep it flat, then you can kind of tighten up your abdominals a little bit as you reach. It is a very nice spinal elongation exercise from this position, whether you're doing it on the floor or on your bed. Okay? So the best way to roll out of this position, Anita, you're going to straighten out your right leg and lift your right arm up by your ear, straight up, over your head. Okay? And you're going to use your left leg to help you push to roll over onto your side. Now, normally there would be some more room. And then you can turn. If you're in bed, you would just swing your legs over from this position. If you're on the floor, Anita, you can go onto your stomach. You would go up onto your hands and knees, keeping your back straight. You would use the chair to get yourself back up. Yeah, keep doing what we call the hip hinge. Okay, very good.